ain't got time for all that faggot shit. Yes, I do. Now that I think about it, I got time for it.
I think that metrosexuality has killed straight men. And in this essay, I will... No, on some real shit though. I think that metrosexuality was the start of the slow death of the heterosexual man or straight man. And I mean that more figuratively than I do mean literally. Men are going to be straight. Men are going to be heterosexual. Let me separate the two. Men are going to be heterosexual. However, being straight, I feel like that's a mindset, that's a culture, that's a way of living. It's a lifestyle. The same way they think that being gay is a lifestyle, being straight is a lifestyle as well.
Clock that team. Clock that team.
Straight men behave in a specific way, perform different things to send the message that they are straight men. Straight people do say, perform whatever in specific ways to get across the point that they are straight. I think one of the biggest ways is clothing and in fashion. Reason I say that metrosexuality has killed straight men is because since a lot of men now are becoming a lot more, how do I say, are becoming more willing to be fluid with their clothing and their fashion, I feel like that's also causing them to change the way that they think about things normally and the way that they go about life. Of course, that seems really like broad and really drastic when I say it. Fashion is making niggas think about life. But honestly, it's really not when you really delve deep into it. Straight men are, for the most part, very rigid when it comes with clothing. When you go to every store for men, it's very basic stuff. You're not about to find nothing real, oh my God. You'll find very, very, very normal, very, very basic stuff. Even on the stores that have an extensive men's section, the clothes are boring, in my opinion. As someone who really be dressing, the clothes are boring. You get into the women's section, they got what the men got plus more. You know what I'm saying? But women also have their own, like, you know, gripes and qualms and, you know, with their own fashion and all this stuff. So that's another topic. I'm talking about straight men. I feel like now, since you have a lot of men now rocking crop tops and 5-inch seam shorts and painting their nails and all of that stuff, changing the culture of being straight. It's changing the typical ways of moving that straight men have. Prince is a great fucking example of that. Prince wore assless chaps and fucking high heels and coiffed his fucking hair, and women loved him just the same. And I think, honestly, seeing men like Prince, Michael Jackson, Dennis Rodman, there's so many examples of straight men that really, like, you know, experimented with their fashion and stepped out of the box, but still received positive interaction and positive response from it. I think that today, since there's such a magnifying glass on the LGBT community, it is hard for a lot of straight men to really engage with metrosexuality comfortably without feeling like they're also forsaking their straightness or their heterosexuality at the same time. Don't get me wrong. I'm sick of seeing men in shorts shorter than mine and shirts short as mine. And I go up to talk to them and they be like, oh, they like women.
The nerve of you, bitch.
Excuse me? You what? Anyway, besides that.
Y'all wanna see my figure?
Being honest, I don't mind you experimenting with your fashion. I don't mind you wearing whatever the fuck you want to wear. The problem that I find is that I feel I'm one of those people that believe that, how do I say this carefully? I think labels are necessary in certain places. I think signifiers, identifiers, labels, whatever the fuck you want to call them, I think that they are very necessary in certain cases. I think clothing and fashion was one of those things that was kind of a key signifier and indicator of a person's sexuality. I'm glad that it is. Anyway, I read something shit. I'm glad that the world has evolved, and I'm glad that we are moving forward with things. However, I do miss when I can look at another gay nigga and be like, oh, he gay. I miss when I can look at somebody and be like, oh, they cool. And I say that as a gay person because it's kind of hard sometimes knowing what spaces are safe spaces when everybody looks the same.
That don't even make no sense to me. Everybody can't be fish now.
Niggas really be wearing the same clothes that I be wearing, but then they be homophobic. What? And then what geeks me about that is a lot of y'all be homophobic, but be so pressed about fashion, and a lot of these designers be some of the most homophobic men love Rick Owens down, not knowing that Rick Owens' muse is his boyfriend. This part of the conversation some of y'all are probably not gonna like, but it's the truth. The other reason why metrosexuality has killed straight men is because a lot of straight men only do things for the male gaze or do things because of other men and do things for other men.
Clock it, bitch! Clock it!
Metrosexuality, a lot of the time, and men who engage with metrosexuality, they do it for the female gaze, if anything. Or better yet, they don't do it for the male gaze. They step outside of the male gaze and they engage with fashion in a way that's not typically seen or done by most men. That is why a lot of the time when you see men who are metrosexual, they don't really exist within the typical heterosexual male groups, if you get what I'm saying, straight male groups. Like you rarely see, every once in a while you'll see a group with one dude who really be dressing. You know what I mean by a metrosexual dude. I'm talking about he's dressing like Prince. He's stepping outside, he's stepped off a runway type shit. He's wearing clothes that he's wearing something that may be for a woman, but he's rocking that shit. That's what I mean. I'm not talking about a dude who, oh, he got on Balenciaga. Good for you.
I don't really give a fuck.
Listen, wear what you want. I don't care. I really don't. But at the same time,
Who gonna be the boy?
we can't all be painting our nails wearing skirts now. I'm just saying, somebody gonna have to put on the pants. It ain't gonna be me.
We still got to have some masculine men left out here.
Do that, do that.